Hello and welcome. My name is Jeffrey Kennedy. I'm the editor of Futures Junctures and also the editor of Elliott Wave Junctures. So we'll go ahead and get started with today's episode of Elliott Wave Junctures. And we're going to continue our talk about triangles. Now today I actually want to talk about a little bit more specifics. If you recall from yesterday, we talked about the various types of triangles: contracting triangles, expanding triangles, and barrier triangles. Today we're going to talk about where they can form. We're also going to be talking about the moves that follow the triangle. And also I'm going to be showing you a technique called a triangle thrust measurement technique. And that's going to be utilized to identify a high probability target for the thrust or the move that actually follows the triangle. Now, simply put, with respect to where a triangle can occur by itself, it's in either the wave 4, the wave B, or the wave X wave positions. This is where triangles can form. Just as an ending diagonal can only form in the fifth wave position of an impulse wave or the wave C position of an ABC formation, triangles are limited to actually where they can form by themselves. And again, that's wave 4, wave B, or wave X. Now the move that follows the triangle, the resolution, that's going to be the final wave of a sequence. If you recall, if this was a fourth wave triangle, this would be the fifth wave move. This is one of the important aspects of a triangle that's always important to remember. They always introduce the final move of a sequence. For example, if this was A and that was a triangle wave B, then wave C would be the final wave of a sequence. If this perhaps was, say, W, wave W for ABC for a W, and this was a triangle X, then wave Y would also be the final wave of a sequence. So really a triangle is kind of like a harbinger of the end of something. So keep that in mind. Now the move that follows the resolution, that's referred to as a thrust, and the move that follows, again, the resolution, is either one of two things. It either travels very short distance, it's a small thrust, or it's a very big thrust, just the opposite. For example, here's a triangle in TCK, Tech Resources. Now notice we had the nice triangle. This is a contracting triangle, but the move to the upside was very limited, and we actually just barely took out the origin of wave A of the pattern. Okay, that's a small triangle thrust. Now here's a triangle thrust that actually occurred in Rice a few years back, and I'll always remember it because the move that actually followed that triangle was an explosive move to the upside. Number one, this was actually a running triangle, but with respect to this pattern here, what I thought was exciting is it shows that tendency of commodities to also have extended fifth waves, and that's going to be another subject I'll cover at a later point. But point being, with respect to the move that follows a triangle, it tends to be either small or large. Rarely is there a middle ground. Now next, let's go ahead and take a look at the measuring technique that an Elliottician would employ to identify a high probability objective or target for the triangle thrust, and that's simply the widest portion of the triangle. Here's a triangle in Cisco. It's a 180-minute price chart. Here's waves A, B, C, D, and E. So here's our triangle. The widest part of the triangle essentially is where the begins at the origin of wave A. So I'm drawing a vertical line here. Here are my trend lines, my BD trend line, as well as my AC trend line. So I'm taking this distance here, the length, the widest portion of the triangle, and simply projecting it from the extreme of wave E. As you can see, that comes up to right here, and we actually missed that target by, I believe, about 10 cents in this example. But again, it's just simply the widest portion of the triangle measured from the extreme of wave E, either upward or downward, depending on the position of the triangle. That's about it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.